Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is the 24th of July 2026, and the top crypto news is as follows. We want to start today's episode with a bank that has turned against Wall Street itself. And we are referring to Goldman Sachs. The chairman and chief executive officer of Goldman Sachs has come out in support of the Clarity Act, saying that he strongly supports pushing forward the legislation for clarity so that they can establish some market structure and begin advancing the process of innovation. As I said, it is the first bank that I can remember, at least, taking a stance in favor of the Clarity Act. And as you can imagine, once it is passed, Goldman Sachs will certainly launch many crypto products. From Goldman Sachs, we move on to a very large consortium, as I would call it, that has committed $15 million to Bitcoin in order to protect it from quantum computers. We are talking about a group called the Bitcoin Security Consortium, which includes some very major players such as BlackRock, Coinbase Strategy, ARK Invest, Blockstream, Fidelity Digital Assets, Galaxy, and Anchorage Digital. All of these entities have created a non-profit organization that funds developers working to protecting Bitcoin from quantum computers. The $15 million does not constitute a shared pool of funds. Each member contributes their own money to whichever developer, researcher, or organization they choose. The consortium also makes it clear that it will not push for specific changes to the Bitcoin code, nor will it speak on behalf of the decentralized community of Bitcoin developers. And all of this is aimed at protecting Bitcoin from quantum computers. Now, some might say this is the good part, but if we look a few years deeper, I can easily imagine that as Bitcoin grows stronger and more trusted, some company will inevitably want the code to work a little differently, in a way that suits them, let's say, and that the connections being made now could allow them to influence Bitcoin in the future, through some change to the code, of course. Continuing on, we turn to our exchanges and we go to BitMEX, which is closing after 11 years of operation on September 23rd. It was one of the first exchanges to offer perpetual contracts with up to 100 times leverage, and it really shook up the market during that period, as I recall. We learned that it will close as part of a strategic review of the business and the broader industry. As they announced, account registrations have already stopped, and the exchange will gradually be closing users' positions and restricting various services as it heads toward shutdown. We move on to Robinhood and a hack that hit the account of the former chief executive officer of Robinhood, whose account was of course hacked in order to promote a meme coin. Since this happened on the Robinhood network, what else would they put out but a meme coin? And to tell you, the criminals advertised Vlad as the official mascot of the Robinhood chain, as they falsely claimed, and they alleged that it would appear in the Robinhood app as well. This announcement included a wallet address and described the token as part of the company's vision for Robinhood chain. All of it was, of course, lies. Moving on, we turn to Coinbase, which is expanding further into payments using USD coin. Users of Coinbase Business will be able to accept payments in USD coin from artificial intelligence agents through the X402 protocol, which Coinbase itself built. So artificial intelligence agents will be able to make payments, manage your funds, and carry out other tasks on behalf of users. As you can see, Coinbase is also competing, in a way, with other blockchain networks, and it is not alone in doing so. We also turn to Circle, which is partnering with Kakao and Toss Bank in an expansion into South Korea. As I already mentioned, Circle will be collaborating with these two organizations as it expands into South Korea, specifically with the Kakao Group. It will be exploring blockchain-based payment infrastructure. Kakao is one of South Korea's largest super apps, meaning it does everything, which makes it a very attractive partner. Meanwhile, with Toss Bank, which is a digital bank, as you can tell, it will be exploring opportunities for stablecoin based payments. Toss Bank is an internet-only bank similar to Revolut, for example, and it wants to expand its presence in crypto. And last month, as you may know from the crypto news, it had already partnered with the Solana Foundation to develop blockchain-based financial infrastructure for users worldwide. So it seems that South Korea is heading in a very promising direction with crypto, as you can see. For our last piece of news of the day, we turn to Uniswap, which is bringing tokenization to its platform. Specifically, it has introduced a new product called permissioned pools, an infrastructure that allows issuers of tokenized funds, equities, and other regulated assets to restrict transactions to specific investors while still using the protocol's automated market maker. This essentially gives issuers a flexible way to enforce their own compliance rules without having to build separate trading infrastructure so that they remain compliant with regulators, which is what they have been working so hard to achieve here. Among the partners involved, it is worth mentioning the company CRYPTONEWS, which manages BlackRock's Tokenized fund. So they certainly know a thing or two about tokenization. And we are gradually seeing this sector expand into the decentralized finance space as well, but in a way that serves institutional players and remains aligned with regulatory requirements. Or at least that is what they are trying to achieve for now. And now it is time to turn to our beloved crypto markets. Bitcoin is sitting at around $64,000 to $65,000, with things in Asia not appearing to be going well. This is due to President Trump stating that he is close to a decision regarding a massive strike against Iran. As the president said, we are fully prepared for the strike, which he has been planning for weeks. It will be bigger than anything we have seen before, and he said that Israel will be directly involved if asked, but that they do not need them because they are capable on their own. It should also be noted that, on the other side, according to the New York Times, Iran has rejected the ceasefire agreement proposed by Iraq's leaders on behalf of America. And now the weekend is approaching, as you know, when the markets will be closed. So a missile or two might fly in the meantime. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is the 24th of July, 2026. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.